Shamat is back. Alex Pereira is going to be taking on Magomed Anklaev in the UFC main event in March, UFC 313, I believe it is. And the fight we have all been waiting for is fucking finally here. Alex Pereira has become one of the biggest names in the sport, and the fella can't even speak a fucking word of English. This is a really dangerous fight for Pereira. I like Pereira's chances in this fight simply because I think Ankalaev is going to go in there with such a fucking stupid approach. Like, genuinely, if Ankalaev is actually going to do what he's been saying he's going to do with the fucking, I'm just going to stand there with Pereira, this dude is destined to get absolutely fucking chinned. Yeah, and I would absolutely love it. I would absolutely love it. I want to see Ankalaev get fucking splattered, to be honest with you. We're in a drought of champions. I've been saying this for months. The champions are they're not terrible, but they've been some of the worst champions in UFC history that we have now. Marab is like a mad hero now, even though a month ago you all hated him. Ian Gary, everyone loves him because he took Shavkat's back. It doesn't really make any sense. I know Ian Gary's not a champion, obviously, but still, like, people switch up so quick. But yeah, I like Pereira in this fight, but I also think Ankalaev has a serious chance of winning this fight, and I also think Ankalaev has more ways to win in this fight. If we look at Pereira's route to victory, like, we know he's just going to stand there and try to take his fucking head off and chew his legs up. Okay, we know exactly what Pereira's going to try in there and do. I honestly think Ankalaev's odds on the feet are being overlooked in this fight. I think Ankalaev definitely has a chance of catching Pereira with something, maybe even wobbling him and then getting kind of like a takedown with that and finishing him that way. I think Ankalaev is going to give Pereira more to think about. I think Pereira's got more to think about with the takedown. I think he's got something to think about with the striking. I do think Alex Pereira's takedown defense has gotten better, but I still don't think it's confident enough to where I'm like, okay, he'll be able to stuff all of Ankalaev's takedowns and he'll just be able to pick him out range. He's not at that level. Okay, he's not at that level yet. Maybe he is, but I just haven't seen it, okay? I haven't seen it. And I'm not going to be putting my money on Pereira in this fight. He is an underdog, and I think a Pereira KO might be worth a little bit of change, but I wouldn't be betting on him in this fight, you know what I mean? Like, it is such a close fight, and I really think the approach Ankalaev takes is really going to determine how this fight plays out. Like, are you actually going to stand there with him? Like, are you really going to do that? That would be fucking stupid and tragic. Okay, even if you end up catching Pereira on the feet, why are you running the risk? Okay, get him up against that cage and get him down that way. And when he's down, I think he's a bit, vulnerable on the ground. Now, Pereira hasn't been submitted in the UFC, but Jan Blachowicz definitely looked like he had success in the first round, especially with the grappling. You know what I mean? And no one's been able to replicate that since. You know what I mean? But it must be said that Pereira has been fighting dominant strikers, of course. Like, he's fought Yuri Prohaska, fought him twice, knocked him out both times, you know what I mean? Then he headlined UFC 300 and fought Jamal Hill, who was a striker, just got knocked out by Yuri Prohaska in an absolute fucking banger. But, like, he hasn't fought this level of grappler. And I actually don't think Ankalaev is, like, this absolute Khabib at light heavyweight, or this Makhachev at light heavyweight. You know what I mean? I don't think his grappling is to a case of where it's his only route to victory. You know what I mean? Like I said in this video, I think Ankalaev actually has a decent chance of, being able to catch Pereira with something, or set up some strikes where he's able to rock Pereira. You know what I mean? I rewatched the Alexander Rakic fight, which is his most recent fight, and he was just standing there with Rakic. You know what I mean? He was just standing there and he was able to find success on the striking. Didn't look like he was any bit interested in the grappling, which, people kind of get this idea that Ankalaev is a big grappler. He's really not. Like, he does more striking than grappling. I always say, never bet on a man that lost to Paul Craig. That's something I live by in life. And I didn't bet on Jamal Hill, but I did pick him to win against Yuri Prohaska. Okay, which, obviously was a mistake because he lost, but Ankalaev that's his only loss on his record, and Pereira lost to Adesanya. So, these guys are both losing to top level opponents, and I'm actually quite surprised this fight took that long to make. You know what I mean? Because Pereira tweeted a few weeks ago, "It's not Ankalaev." I think we all had a few eyebrows raised of, Yo, bro, you actually ducking this guy? Like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, are you gonna move up to heavyweight? Like, sort this shit out. And then we got this fight announcement. It is kind of on like relatively short notice. Obviously, these guys have had more time to prepare. Like, they don't hear about it when we hear about it, of course. But March is it's February in a few days. March is right around the corner. Then you know what I mean. It's only a month away till March, and it's just like I don't know if Pereira. I can't sit here and confidently say Alex Pereira is going to go in there and knock out Ankalaev. I just can't because Ankalaev's never been knocked out. Now, of course, he's never fought the level of striker that is Alex Pereira, and I think a good kind of grounding match that we see here is the Blachowicz fight for both men. Let's say we look at the Ankalaev versus Blachowicz fight, it was actually for a vacant belt, which is pretty mad to think. It's over 2 years ago, which is crazy. Blachowicz had massive success with them low kicks. He even had Ankalaev kind of stumbling all over the place, like he slipped on a fucking banana in Mario Kart, got hit with the fucking green shell and shit. But he had serious success with them low kicks, and Ankalaev kind of did well. I believe he did well with the grappling later on in that fight, if memory serves. I haven't watched that fight in ages, but he did well kind of later on. But Blachowicz was fucking him up with them leg kicks, man. Absolutely fucking him up. And we all know Shamaz's specialty is that left hook and leg kick, calf kick in particular. And I feel like Ankalaev's going to learn from that fight to be like, okay, Blachowicz is an insanely good kind of low kicker, but he's not Alex Pereira level low kick. But I don't think many people are, because I feel like Pereira's up there with like Aldo with the fucking top level low kick skills. Even Jonathan Martinez. I remember when he was fighting Aldo, like that shit was, I was so hyped for that matchup. And people like that, them low kicks, man, they don't take much. Especially when you go into the calf, they really don't take much. And I don't think Ankalaev's going to go in there with that same mentality of, I'm going to stand with this. See, he's saying he's going to stand with them, but I really don't think he is, okay? Like, not that stupid, okay? But let's say he goes in there and he stands with them. Few of them low kicks, man, your ability to really go for a takedown is wildered. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of moving forward pressure that you have, it gets nerfed. It gets nerfed, bro. You know what I mean? You don't have that same explosiveness that you once had at the start of the fight. And Ankalaev will learn real quick if he's going in there with that fight, with that mentality heading into this fight. And then you have Pereira versus Blachowicz. Blachowicz had extreme success with the takedown in the first round. And I remember that was Pereira's light heavyweight debut. I was fucking shitting it. Okay, I picked Blachowicz in that fight. I remember I was confident, and when I saw that first round, I was like, yep, here we go. His biggest weakness, the grappling. But he ended up winning the fight, okay? But we saw the weakness that was his grappling early on in that first round. Blachowicz had his back and shit. Now, you can look at that as a weakness, but you can also look at in like, well, Blachowicz had his back for that long, and he was doing this with the takedown, but he didn't actually do anything, and he won. Which is a very good point, okay? Because that was, I think, a year and a half ago now. And if you can, improve, which I guarantee you Pereira has with them takedown defense, it's going to cause issues with someone like Ankalaev if he can't get Pereira down. I don't think it's like a case of this fight is completely over. Like, it's not like Ankalaev has to go in there and grapple. I think mixing in the striking to get the grappling is a very good idea, or vice versa, mixing in the grappling to set up holes where Pereira might have his hands down, anticipating the takedown. You might catch him that way. Either one, I think Ankalaev has just a little bit more kind of options compared to Pereira. I think Pereira is going to be kind of wary of the takedown, where obviously Ankalaev is going to be wary of the fucking hooks and shit like that. You know what I mean? Of course he is, but it's a good fight, man. It's a good fight, and for light heavyweight, this was the only fight to make. Let's be completely honest with you. Nobody else wants to see any other fight apart from this one. No other fight made sense. Pereira moving up doesn't make sense. But I'm just glad it's here, man. I'm going to be shitting it because we need Alex Pereira as champion, and I fucking hope he wins this fight. But yeah, let me know. I'll go with. I was kind of thinking Pereira and then Ankalaev, and I'm really back and forth with this one. As much as I like Pereira in this fight, I am liking the ability that Ankalaev has different ways to win. So I'll go with an Ankalaev third round submission just for now. But we'll see what happens. But let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching.